Madam Non-Presidential Chairperson, fellow speechmakers, proverbial bottoms on seats, and the timekeeper. Oh, can we have a barrel downstairs, please? Advice. So what are the real reasons for giving advice? Are they the suggestions which you give someone else, which you hope will work for your benefit? Or is that just limited to the less scrupulous of the salesmen around of double glazing and cars? But isn't advice something that we ask for when we already know the answer, but wish we didn't? What about undeniably good advice? Should we take it? Like, do something wonderful. People might imitate you. Or find out what you don't do well and don't do it. Or nothing risque, nothing gained. Maybe like a good speaker, should one always try to be sincere? Even if you don't always mean it. But always try to use tasteful words. You may have to eat them. Should we take heed from those that speak quickly and always leave things to the last minute? Because that way it will only take a minute. Thankfully, there are no horrid, bigoted and generalist, sexist cliches for me to quote here, other than, if you give a woman a minute, then she will always take 3. But as Oscar Wilde did say, don't give a woman advice. One should never give a woman anything she can't wear in the evening. Did he mean like wearing a fur coat for walking along Morecambe freezing promenade by the sea and on the beach? Someone else has also recommended that the best advice they have for Morecambe is to keep Britain tidy and eat a pigeon. Yet surely the vegan campaigners will not approve of any politically incorrect talk of increased pigeon consumption, will they? But do you believe in free speech? Good. Can I just borrow your mobile phone then, please? Wouldn't you agree that there can be some very good advice on the internet about health? And there can also be some utter rubbish on it. Indeed, there must be something rather special about that acupuncture, because you never see any sick hedgehogs or porcupines, do you? No, certainly not all experts. Even internet advice on good food diets to lose weight seem to vary like the UK 2020 winter weekend weather. Some days it's the Atkins diets, the best. Other times it's green and red, and it can be high protein and fibre, or vastly reduced salt and sugar, or just simply less calories. But what about that man in Garstang, where else, who eats 6 meals a day, 4 steaks, 10 pounds of potatoes, a dozen hamburgers, apple pie, ice cream, and lots of beer, and never puts on any weight? Yes, he's always the same weight at 28 stones. Conversely, if one is very poor, is it better to accept the advice for one to adopt a more economically priced diet? For example, did you know that there is a young man in the UK who is so very poor that if he doesn't fast every Monday or Thursday, he will starve to death? Isn't it wonderful how there are such huge numbers of people in the world who are now using computers instead of the total dependence on having to reference encyclopedias and educational textbooks, etc. So now being able to access key desired information, guidance and advice on virtually anything in the world. Indeed, the ASC, Association of Speakers Clubs, is of course very much online too. But what additional advice could one try and give the ASC? to increase its profile and membership numbers? Could it be to never join a bowling club if you don't bowl? Similarly, do not join a tennis club if you do not play tennis, nor ever belong to a speakers club if you do not write a brand new speech every fortnight. Would the ASC be in improved state and have more to offer as a whole if it was able to adapt accordingly and turn itself into an organisation which is better able to accommodate increased numbers of teenage junior members? Not wishing to be too ageist, but surely there are significantly high numbers of teenagers out there who could individually write brand new speeches and presentations every single week of the year, if they were encouraged and provided with such valuable opportunities to do so. So how would teenagers cope with the ASC? Or should we just give them a licensed chaperone and a minder for their mind, body and soul? What about further advice and suggestions that could be given to the ASC for it to consider improving as a whole to benefit its members of all ages? As a lot of UK organisations now expanding and becoming global. But look what happened when the ASC attempted to open up and operate in Australia, with Dame Everidge assisting in the promotion. As Dame Everidge did publicly criticise the ASC when she said, "Hello, possums, don't you just love it? Mary Whitehouse wanted to join the International Association of Speakers Clubs, but she refused to join in the end because she found it too restrictive. She said, I can't talk about religion, I can't talk about sex, and I can't talk about myself and Brexit." I would now like to conclude that, as with public speaking training and so many other interesting and worthwhile things in life, and in overall and summarised terms, isn't it often absolutely brilliant to seek the best possible advice when needed, along with obtaining supportive tip-top second and third opinions to check for consistency and authenticity? You can still be the final judge of it. A good comedian always knows a good joke. Take heed. Never end a speech with a piece of advice. Unless, and unlike myself, you are an expert.